In my regular professional role, I provide professional learning mainly to educators and leaders around different products and services that the company I work for provides. Sometimes this training is welcome. People are excited to see me. But other times it's less so. And I like to say that part of my job is changing hearts and minds. Usually by the time one of my sessions is over, the people I'm working with and supporting do understand the ways in which the products and services that I'm training them on will help them. Why am I telling you this on a cooking channel? Well, because I found the same type of resistance can exist in this realm. Specifically, I've been pretty much shouting from the rooftops the importance of shopping around for groceries and utilizing budget grocery stores. I found that there are some people who are still cautious around that idea and maybe not super open to trying to save money by going to a store perhaps that has the word outlet in its name, or clearance, or wholesale, or overstock. But I really truly believe that this is a huge way that you can contribute to reducing your grocery and food budget for yourself and or your family. I would like to prove that this is true, and that by saving money using these methods that I'm suggesting does not in any way decrease the quality of the food that you'll be eating. The only way that I can think to do this is really quite simple. All I need to do is go to one of these stores, buy all of the ingredients for one of my favorite dishes, go to another store, buy all the same ingredients from a traditional grocery store, cook the identical meal side by side, test it, and determine which one's best. Simple as pie. Let's do it. So here we are at my favorite place, Grocery Outlet, on a rainy weekend day. It's going to be pretty crowded in here, but that's going to be okay. Right when you get in the door at Grocery Outlet, there's always a meat counter there. Usually ground beef is between $4.99 and $5.99 a pound. It is $5.99 today, so that's what we're going to go with. You notice it's 93% lean. It's going in the basket. It's also, I believe, grass-fed. There are several different spaghetti options. I'm following the rules of how I usually shop at Grocery Outlet, and that is to find the least expensive of the options. So we see that's a 99-cent container of spaghetti. But if we come down to the lower shelf, this is 89 cents. Savings of 11 cents is not zero, so we're going to go with this brand of spaghetti from Grocery Outlet. Up next, it's time to find tomatoes. And one of the things I like the most about Grocery Outlet is it's small. These are the canned tomatoes that they have in large cans. That is the only one there is. Always be careful to make sure that you are not accidentally buying fire roasted tomatoes, as I have done that, and then had to pivot from spaghetti to chili because I don't really like fire roasted tomatoes in my spaghetti. I also add tomato paste to my pasta sauce. It's a really basic recipe, just onions, garlic, oil, tomatoes, and I find the tomato paste gives it a better texture. This is the cheapest option. It is a Del Monte grown good little container of tomato paste for 50 cents going in the basket. I see I have all four of my ingredients here, but I just want to take one more trip to the meat counter because sometimes they have reduced for quick sale options here. And what I'm finding, no reduced for quick sale options, but look at this. This is the 85% lean ground beef, which is 49 cents cheaper. So we are going to go with the less lean beef. We're putting the 93% back there safely in its cooler, and we now have all four foundational items, and we spent $7.87 at Grocery Outlet. Let's go to what is considered to be a regular grocery store. This is my Giant here in Eastern Pennsylvania, and we're gonna buy the exact same things. Here we have all the ground beefs, so many ground beefs, and I'm following the rule here of how I usually shop at a regular grocery store. This is $9.61 for the store brand, but I do look around and I like to usually go with the middle of the road pricing. There was some Kobe ground beef, certainly not going to buy that, but this, actually Nature's Promise grass-fed, which is more comparable to what I had, was a little less than the store brand, weirdly, so I'm going with that. This is a favorite brand of mine, and it's what I intended to buy for the spaghetti, but as you can see, there wasn't any. So I was going to a comparably priced, again, mid-range option. I've never used this brand, but it is $2.49. So this is going in my basket. At this point, I'm starting to think that the comparison here might not be that impressive. Let's see if it is. Heading over to the tomatoes, there are so many tomatoes. I cannot with regular grocery stores anymore. I don't understand why anyone needs this many brands. But we're going to do the same thing we did before, go for a mid-range price. So these are in the $3 range. That was in the $5 range. That's an $8 can of tomatoes. We're certainly not going to buy that. So I'm going to go up here to a mid-range San Marzano style canned tomato. It is not San Marzano tomatoes. And these are in the area of $4.50 going in the basket. Last thing I need to do is grab that tomato paste. Here we go. And 99 cents. It's actually on sale. I could buy the less expensive store brand or the more expensive name brand, because again, we've got way too many tomato options here. But I'm again going to go with middle of the road. And this on sale for 99 cents can of tomato paste. And I will tell you at this point, I sincerely thought this would not be that impressive of a comparison. And then I went to the checkout. Let's take a look at what this basket of 4 identical ingredients cost me. There it is in my basket. I'm still not impressed with myself yet. I'm about to go to the self-checkout and check out how much this cost. $15.56. That is just a little bit more than double what it would have cost me, or what it did cost me at Grocery Outlet. So here's my Grocery Outlet goods: tomato paste, canned tomatoes, ground beef and spaghetti for $7.87. And again, Grocery Outlet, favorite place. And then the exact same items, same grass-fed ground beef, tomato paste, canned tomatoes, and in a bag package of spaghetti from my regular grocery store for $15.56. Why would you spend that much? I don't know. Let's see how it turns out. I've chosen spaghetti and meatballs as my possibly first tester meal for this theory. I've done that because spaghetti and meatballs is, well, first of all, one of my favorite meals, but second of all, pretty simple. And the basic elements, the ones that I just showed you, tomatoes, tomato paste, pasta, and ground beef, are going to be able to shine in this recipe because of the simplicity. I want to be very clear that I only purchased those 4 basic ingredients from Grocery Outlet, and then to compare from my regular grocery store, which in Pennsylvania is called Giant. In addition to those 4 primary ingredients from each store, I'm using the same other small ingredients for both dishes. So I'm going to use this one onion in both dishes. The same onion is going to cut it in half. I'm going to use this same garlic head. This same olive oil, which is from Grocery Outlet, in case you're wondering. This oregano, which I don't remember where I got it because I got it a really long time ago. This bunch of parsley, which I believe I got from Aldi. So this isn't even one or the other. And these breadcrumbs. Now these breadcrumbs look like they're from Aldi. They're not. If you can see inside of them, let's see if you can see inside of them. There we go. There we go. So these are actually my breadcrumbs that I made with frozen leftover bread that had gone stale. So these non-foundational items are going to be the same across both dishes. I am not going to make you watch me cook these. I'm going to make meatballs. I'm going to make sauce. I'm going to make pasta. I'll plate it up, and then I'll let you decide which one looks better. And I'm going to let some of my friends decide which one tastes better. I said I wasn't going to make you watch me do this, and that's because I'm making 2 versions of the same thing at once, and I can't film that. However, here's the setup. Equal ingredients for the meatballs. Equal ingredients for the sauce. I ran out of little bowls, so I just sort of divided that there. And in case you're wondering why I use parsley, it's because basil costs money and I don't have it. And also my nanny used parsley in her sauce. I have 2 pans of the same material. It's the only way I could do it with the pans that I have. One is shallow, one is deep, but we're going to deal with that. And then I have my pasta and my tomatoes set up to go in the sauce once the meatballs are meatballing. And in case you were wondering, why, yes, I was diagnosed with OCD at a very young age. Thanks for asking. I was actually 8. Don't worry, I won't make you watch all of the cooking, but here we have meatball batch 1 and meatball batch 2 cooking as meatballs do. Also, you may have noticed that one of my cans of tomatoes was diced and the other was whole, so I'm just making the whole ones diced. This is also a great tip, using a scissors like this, for anything you need to cut up smaller that's already in a can. I started doing this with chipotles and adobo because I wanted smaller pieces. All right, here it is. And I found a friend who's willing to help me determine which of these is the better option. This is my friend Sparky. Say hi, Sparky.
Hello.
He's going to try both of these. He's actually on his way home from work and is annoyed by this. So let's do it quickly. Please try either of these. While you eat, I'm going to give you some guidelines. I'm interested in the quality of the sauce, the quality of the pasta, and the quality of the meatball. And you can speak to it however you wish.
The sauce on the one on the right is definitely better.
Okay.
The sauce on the left has a bitter aftertaste. The one on the right is much sweeter.
Okay, interesting. There's the exact same amount of sugar in both. I measured it. Interesting. Okay. I would like to note for people watching that he made a face when he ate the one that he does not think is sweet. It was definitely an ew face. All right, we're going in for the meatball now.
Cut the meatball. A little palate cleansing. This meatball is definitely better.
So you're saying the meatball and the sauce is better?
Yes.
Okay. Well, before I press stop on this, would you offer a guess of which one is the more expensive one and which one is the cheaper one?
That one's more expensive. That's cheaper.
So you think you like the cheaper one better? Mm-hmm. What do we think, everyone? Is he right? You are. You like the cheaper one better. $15, $7. All right. I'm going to try it now, but I may not record it. All right, I'm going to try this too, just to give you my feedback. To be clear, this one over here on what looks like the left is the expensive one. This is the cheap one that Sparky liked better. This is not a knife, so that's not ideal. I'm going to try the cheap one first. Real quick, we're just going to try the meatball and the sauce. Good. Oh, yeah. This one's hard. This one's like weirdly sturdy. Hold on. Interesting. It tastes good, but the texture is gross. All right, last part. It's gonna be the pasta. With a little twirl to the cheap pasta. Use a spoon, it makes you classy. I don't like the cheap pasta. People are honking. Let's try the expensive pasta. Ooh, no, I don't like that less or more. Cheap pasta holds the sauce better, better texture, sweeter tomatoes, softer meatballs. All three facets better when they're cheap. There you have it, 2 versions of spaghetti and meatballs. One for just a little bit over $15 total and one for just a little bit over $7. Honestly, both my friend and I like the $7 version better. And I know what you might be thinking. Isn't that a rather small data set? Or even more importantly, hey Tracy, isn't better subjective? And you're right, but that's the whole point. If the cheaper version can be almost as good, or in our case better, than the more expensive version, why are we spending more money? If you like this little experiment, please click like and subscribe. and tune in for more content just like this. Thanks for watching.